In this video, we're going to discuss the difference between thermal energy and temperature. A lot of people use those words like they mean the same thing, and they don't. They actually have very different meanings. So thermal energy is the total or sum of kinetic energy. So what that means is every molecule that an object has, we are adding its individual amount of energy together for every molecule. And that's going to give us our thermal energy. So because it depends on how many molecules there are, thermal energy actually depends on the mass, the size of the object. Temperature, on the other hand, is the average kinetic energy. So we take the energy of all the molecules and figure out what is the middle, what's the average. Because it's just an average, it doesn't depend on mass. You can have something that is super big and something that's super small and have them be at the same temperature, okay? So I'm actually going to show you what thermal energy and temperature look like calculation-wise, and then I'm going to give you an example of two different objects. So molecule 1 has 40 joules of energy, molecule 2 has 30 joules of energy, and molecule 3 has 20 joules of energy. Calculate the temperature and thermal energy. So temperature, because it's an average, we need to find the middle number. So to do that, we are going to add up each energy, 40 plus 30 plus 20, and then we're going to divide by the number of molecules we have. So because we have 3 molecules, we're going to divide by 3. So 40 plus 30 plus 20 is 90. 90 divided by 3 is 30. Our average temperature would be 30. On the other hand, thermal energy, we know, is the sum or the total. So we are just going to add it up just to get our answer. So 40 plus 30, plus 20 is going to give us 90. So 90 is our thermal energy. So as you can see, the way we find them is very different, and that's because they measure different things. One is average, one is total amount of energy. So if we were to look at two different objects, so we have a giant swimming pool and then we have a bucket. So the pool obviously has more mass. It's much bigger than the bucket of water. The bucket has less mass. It's much smaller. So the pool has more molecules. The bucket has less molecules. They both can be at a temperature of 75 degrees, but when we talk about thermal energy, we need to take in consideration the mass. So because the pool has more mass, it has more molecules, if we were to add up the energy of every single molecule that the pool has, it would be much greater than the total amount of thermal energy the bucket has because it has less molecules. So I'm just going to label that. And so you were given at the beginning of class a cup of coffee and an iceberg, and you had to figure out which one is going to have more thermal energy. So when you think about fixing your answer, you have to think about, even though the iceberg is much colder, which one has more mass, which one has less mass, and how is that going to affect the total amount of energy that both the iceberg and the cup of coffee have. So now you are going to complete the check for understandings in your notes and in the Google form at the same time.